Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and early 4 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, I'm dying to tell you guys about, I guess you call it a thread, a conversation I had on, I want to call it a conversation on Facebook when there's a topic, when there's a post and the comments are coming in fast and furious in real time. Like I put a comment, you see another person's commenting, to me it seems like a conversation, but thread, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so the initial post was, do you return your carriage after you use it? Interesting, right? I honestly, in the last couple of years, I don't know if it's due to my age, getting more cognizant of society, or I don't know, or my recovery or what, but within, I'd say the last 2 to 5 years, lately, I return that carriage. It's almost like superstitious. I have to return that carriage. I have to get that carriage back in the corral. And there's more to it than that too. I think I'm a bit obsessive compulsive, but we'll get to that in a second. All right, so that's the topic, right? So I want to comment because it's like I have to return that damn carriage. I feel like somebody will see me return it, and if I return it, they see me return it, then I don't know if you want to call it they're guilted into returning theirs, or they just think about it. I guess in the back of my mind, I'm thinking if I return it and other people see me return mine, and how simple it is, maybe they'll start returning theirs, and it'll spread, and it'll become more. People, one good turn deserves another. I guess that's how I would sum it up on why I do it. I feel like somebody will see me doing it, and it'll lead to a greater good. I know it almost sounds goofy, but that's what I'm thinking. I do this, but then I think part of me too is like superstitious. There's a obsessive compulsive component to it, that if I don't return it, then bad things will start to happen in my life. So it's not all about me being such a good guy. It's me being a little crazy too. All right, so the comments are coming in fast and furious, and everybody's commenting. Yeah, I return it every time. Every comment says they return their carriages. So after about 10 comments, I'm starting to think, I'm like, I don't think all these people are telling the truth, and one person, then other people start trickling in. One person says, no, I don't return them, and they started arguing. Another person said, return the carriage, you're effing lazy. Then that person said, but I'm handicapped, so I can't, I have a reason not to return it. And so the arguments broke out, okay? And truly, what I saw, most of the people, you could tell by the profile pictures, and then I would quickly click on the profile picture to see the person's profile, and the vast majority, seriously, I swear to God, the vast majority of people that do not return or claim not to return their carriages were Trump supporters or Republicans. I'm not making this up, but they had a reason. Because it broke out into we'll call it a debate. And this thread got like over 240 comments. I just kept getting longer and longer. And then yesterday Facebook was out. So anyway, I couldn't find the post this morning. All right. So from what I saw, when I would click on, either by looking at the profile pictures or clicking on the person's profile, because I started to get interested in who returns their cards and who doesn't. And overwhelmingly, it seemed like the Trump supporters didn't return their cards, but they had a reason. Their reasons were, some of them wrote, most of it was about their time. They claimed that their time was important. Their time was money. And that this was the thing. They said that people like me that return the cards are taking away the jobs from the kids, usually kids or disabled adults that are working out in the parking lot. Because there's almost always, they always have people working out in the parking lot. That's probably one of the very entry-level jobs in the supermarket or the box store, is you go in the parking lot and you return the carriages. I've always seen these guys, and I've always had a lot of respect for them. They must take, I imagine, when I'm out in the parking lot, just for 2 minutes. I see the way people act. Not all of them, but a lot of people are in a hurry, and especially when they're in their cars, people act differently. And I give these workers a lot of respect for having to deal with the cars coming in and out, and probably a lot of impatience. So anyway, the Trump supporters and Republicans, from what I saw, overwhelmingly did not return their carriages. But they said they did this because they wanted to provide a job. They wanted to give job security. That's the term they use, job security, to the disabled adults and kids that worked in the parking lot. And, I almost believe this, because it almost was valid. But then I thought about this some more, and these workers out in the parking lot always have the job of bringing they always work extremely hard. One of the hardest parts of their job, I think, is bringing all the carts from the corral. We've all seen them pushing the train across the parking lot, the train of carriages, and then pushing them into the door. Nobody's waiting for them or holding the door open for them, and they struggle to try to push a train of like 20 carriages into where they belong inside the store. So these guys, at first I almost fell for it. Maybe Republicans are really just, really all about jobs, That was just for a fraction of a second. And then I started thinking about it. And I casually asked them when they shopped, was it a busy time or not, and a lot of these guys weren't even, or when, people weren't even working. So it wasn't about time. A lot of these people, it wasn't because they were trying to save a few minutes that they would then spend working. So overwhelmingly, what I saw was, seriously, this was a very unofficial or unscientific poll from my perspective, but it really seemed, and then again, I don't know, maybe a lot of the liberal Democrat people that said they returned the carts were actually fibbing, so you could look at it that way too, or you don't know, you really don't know who's telling the truth and who's not. You could question both sides, really. I could tell you this. I always return the carts. But I have some other quirks. I've developed, because I'll try to explain this as best I can. I think it's like an obsessive compulsive thing. In the last 15 years, my life has become better than I ever could have imagined since I've gotten clean and sober, seriously. I would have never thought that I'd be this happy. And I mean, it could always be better, but I could have never imagined. So I'm very thankful for what I have and where I am compared to where I was. And part of me worries that if I change something, I start to get superstitious. One of the strange superstitious things I have is when I'm riding my bike. You guys know I ride my bike daily, at least 10 miles, my mountain bike. If I see a penny, a dime, a nickel, but usually they're pennies on the ground, I could be going 40 miles an hour down the hill. I have to stop. I have to turn around and go back and get that penny. Even if I have to search for a half hour to find it, I have to do that because I feel like, I'm going to sound crazy. I've never put this into words before. I don't know. I feel like that passing up even a penny is disrespectful. It is not showing my gratitude to the universe. I know it sounds crazy. So I have to, and I feel if I don't pick up this penny, that something sure as hell, something bad, I'm going to crash the bike, something terrible, I don't even want to say it right now, something terrible will happen to me down this road if I don't pick up that penny. It's almost a superstitious thing. Seriously, I've spent 15, 20 minutes looking on the ground, mounted, straddled on my bike, looking around on the side of the road as cars go by, trying to find a penny. There's a good chance I'll probably end up getting hit by a car while I'm trying to find the penny, so I don't have bad luck by getting hit by a car. Anyway, and another weird one. This is a really weird one. It happens every time if I'm watching TV or in person. If I hear liquid being poured into a glass, that gloop, 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 I get infuriated. I swear to God, I don't know what's wrong with me. Every time, I don't even think about it. all of a sudden I get angry, and then I realize, oh, I just heard it again. You know, the anger comes before I even realize what I'm hearing. So I do have some quirks. For some reason, I get angry and I get uncomfortably infuriated if I hear liquid being poured into a glass. I don't know if it has something to do with recovery, drinking. I have no idea, but it's a true story. So anyway, I talk about this because, like I said, I think my returning the carriages has a little something to do with my obsessive compulsive tendencies. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys, if you're a Trump supporter, do you return your carriage? If you don't be embarrassed. Or I know Trump, it's ridiculous to say that to a Trump supporter. You guys are never embarrassed. But tell me why. You know, does it make sense providing jobs or time or whatever? Why you leave your carriage there? Not to mention, you know, carriages hitting cars. That's something that pisses people off. All right, so let me know. Do you return your carriages to corrals or not? And you know, most of you guys, I assume, are liberal, Democrat, progressive. I know there's a couple Trump supporters out there. I see your 2 or 3 dislikes and your wonderful comments. Let me know. All right, you guys have a great Tuesday.